Barnes & Noble Union Square, please give a warm welcome to Allie Hazelwood, Adriana Herrara, and Sarah MacLean.
Happy release day, Allie Hazelwood.
Thank you, Sarah MacLean.
I'm so excited.
Hi, guys.
This
Thank
is
you
an
for
amazing
coming.
crowd.
Hello, New York City. Raise your hand if you're not from New York City and you came in for this. Look at that.
Amazing.
Allie. Oh. So this is your release day.
Yes.
And that means most of these people, who's already read it? There you go. So most of them have not read it. So we're not going to spoil things.
I am so glad that you read the book and still decided to come. And you were like, not thinking it was the worst book in the universe. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, that was never going to happen. But why don't you tell everyone a little about what they're here about? Love theoretically.
So it's now release day, and I still don't have a good pitch for the book. So I think it's just never going to work out. But Love Theoretically, that book is a rom-com set in STEM. And so it's the story of Elsie, who is a young scientist who is applying for her dream job at MIT, except that when she walks into the interview, she finds that one of the people on the hiring committee is someone that she knows from another part of her life. And this would be the fact that on the side, she fake dates for money. And that is because she is an academic, and academics are very poor because we are very underpaid. And the person that she finds on the hiring committee is actually the older brother of the person that she has been fake dating. So he knows her as a different person, right? And and then they fall in love. That's a spoiler, but they end up together. They have sex before they end up together.
Okay, so, you have something to say.
I was just going to say, I don't know if this is going to happen to everyone that reads the book, but when I read the book, I could only, whenever I envisioned him, like, you know how like you imagine the character, his forearms were like the only thing I could see in my mind.
Like Popeye.
Like, it was the only thing. Also, for those who read it, I don't know, I'm going to start a petition for t-shirts that say, "Settle down, Elsie." So if anyone wants those, I'm going to start a petition.
Bracelets. Allie will make them while she watches Succession.
It's I'm so glad because when we first saw the cover, like Lilith, Lilith is the cover artist who did all my covers, and she is a genius. And when she first sent us the sketch, I think I was on Zoom with my agent and my editor. It never happens. Usually they send an email with the cover sketches, but on that specific occasion, I don't know why we were on Zoom, and I think both me and my agent were like yelling, "Forearm!" Oh my god!
This tattoo really does the job.
It's special. It's truly special.
I am so pleased.
All right, but you start. We don't have much time because we want to get to questions. There will be time for questions, but I have questions first, so I get to go first. So you talked about beginnings, and so Adriana Herrara also has a book out recently, An Island Princess Starts a Scandal.
Very hot book.
Messy lesbian.
Extremely hot shenanigans at the Paris Opera House, if that sounds like your thing. It definitely is, you know what I mean?
We call it Manu in Paris, and it hopefully will be a Netflix series. If Netflix listens to me.
Call your friends, everyone.
Call me.
Okay, but I want to talk about beginnings because most people haven't read Love Theoretically, so we're going to talk about the beginning because then we aren't spoiling. But I also want to talk about beginnings because there's a similarity to these two books, which is that you are talking about, you have this like revelatory moment in both of the beginnings of this book where the characters meet or know each other in one lens, and then they meet in the next chapter for real, like authentic reality meet. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about like that piece of the puzzle, because it's so good and such romance catnip. Like when you've had a one-night stand and then the next day, oops, it's your boss kind of thing.
That is literally the best trope. We don't have enough of those. Oh, God.
Truly.
We need more.
But in these cases, so in Adriana's case, you have sort of a not exactly one-night stand, and oops, the next day they are in business. They have to have a business conversation, like a business dealing. And you've got there's a lot of shenanigan lying going on in the first chapter, and then oops, he might be her boss in the second chapter. So,
Tell us about Jack.
and his forearms. Yes. He's wearing a Henley in that second chapter. It's great.
So if I ever write a book in which the main male character doesn't write a Henley, I have been kidnapped. I have a ghostwriter. That's when you know. That's when you know it's not me.
A+ world building.
It's if I ever get like a pen name, you will recognize my writing from the Henley.
But what's like the magic in that meeting for you?
I think it's this idea of someone that you already know. I think one of the things that we love, for example, in romance is, friends to lovers, enemies to lovers. So it's someone that you know from a specific part of your life context, or someone that you have that you see in a certain light, and then immediately like everything switches and oh my God, this person is not who I thought they were.
Yeah.
Like in Elsie's case, she has made a lot of assumptions about Jack. She's like, I'm never gonna have anything in common with this guy. He's a gym bro. I'm not like, there's nothing there. He's just a horrible person. And seeing him as someone that she has so many things in common with, it's just devastating for her. She's like, I'm supposed to hate this guy. What is happening here? So that's fun. It's always fun to torture your main character, I think.
Tell us about Island Princess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar. So mine it's a sapphic romance. So it's like one is kind of like a chaos princess, and the other one's like a very buttoned up, uptight lady. I think of her as like Rebecca. Is it Rebecca from Ted Lasso?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, but like in the 1880s.
Yeah.
And I think it's.
Oh my God.
Right?
This is the most perfect.
See? It works so great. It works so great in your head. So yeah, I think it's the same thing exactly. It's like having that encounter where like you are feeling things about this person that you're not really sure what is going on, which I think in Love Theoretic, like she thinks she's got this whole situation on lock. It's under control. She knows what she's doing. She's in there to do a thing. She knows exactly who this person is. And then the next chapter, all her wildest dreams can come true, except now this person who she thought she hated is the person. And in mine, it's the opposite. The person who she thought would be the perfect person for her is now this really mean lady that wants to buy her land.
Okay, so...
Delicious.
But, so let's talk about the romance piece of it, the romance novel piece of it. As you're writing your books, what is the story? We talk all the time in romance about this kind of idea that romance carries the core story of its writers along with it, that we tell the same story again and again and again. So what is the story that you guys are both telling over and over again?
Should I start?
Yes, please.
I am only interested in writing about men who are just absolutely smitten with female main characters, and I just love it. I mean, I just think it's just, I love the idea of this nearly unconditional love, and maybe it's because it's so hard to find in real life. Like, I think my husband would leave me if I did certain things, and maybe it's for the best, good for him. But like, I don't know, there is something about this, just someone who just falls in love so deeply, and that is my jam, and that's what I'm here to write.
I was talking to Lauren, one half of Christina Lauren, this morning, and we talked about how amazing you both are. But also, we were talking, she was telling me that there's some science, they did brain scans, of course, Lauren, right? They did these brain scans of couples who had been together over, 6 weeks, and couples who had been together over like 25 years. And between 5 and 15% of couples, their brains continue to fire in the same place as, early in the relationship and then later in the relationship. And I feel like that's an Allie Hazelwood core story.
Yes.
I love
There it is. That's your next book.
I feel seen and understood like never before.
I'm like, this tracks us. I just binged the latest season of Love is Blind, and all of this makes sense.
Guys, we were having like just drinks before this, and just one drink. Sorry. And like I have been watching Succession, and all I wanted to talk about was Succession, and then she wanted to talk about Love is Blind, and we kept bringing it up. It's like, look at us.
It was a clash conversation,
Exactly.
but it worked out.
But beautiful.
I also, I read a lot about a lot of things in terms of like Latinx characters and culture and all that, but like my romance story is fated mates, like people who like she sees her or he sees her, and then the entirety of their existence as they knew it begins to like fall apart, like brick by brick, until there's nothing left.
I would like to steal this answer. Actually, I want to have that answer. It's
Is
the
this where we
perfect
talk about
answer.
Omegaverse?
And it's
segue.
so true. Like that's the spirit of your books. Like I can feel it so hard.
Okay, but I'm going to also posit that both of you come to romance with a really feminist lens. I mean, there's, the STEMist boom feels like it was invented right now by Allie Hazelwood, yes. Right? And I feel like, Adriana, your books, I mean, it's everything deserves to be on fire that isn't like perfectly for these women. They deserve everything, and I will fight anyone who stands in their way when I read their books. So I wonder if you could talk about that. Like, how do you, in this world that we live in, like really lead with that? Because I think you both do in really interesting ways.
This is a very hard question. Can you start?
I want to. So I think I read your books, and I'm always like, they feel very personal because I am married to an academic. Like my partner went through the job. This book specifically, like I kept telling him like, she's in the job market. And he's like, oh, he's like, how can anyone fall in love in that process? So I feel like, and I have friends, like my sister's also an academic. So to me, like part of what I love about these books specifically is that it really like shines a light on a system that is really not built for women to thrive. And it's like these women who are just trying to survive and also like trying to be seen and like just like get through the day, and then they're like thrown into these like epic romances with these like men who are like the Rock of Ages. So like, you know what I mean? Like just so steady. So I feel like that's what a hot mess academic lady who's trying to figure out how to buy her Starbucks with like 2 paper clips and a quarter, she deserves a man who would literally like reinvent the world for her. Like that's feminism.
Yes. Yes.
See, this is why I let her go first, because, but it's so true. Like, I think feminism is 100% sort of embracing the fact that you are a mess. Like, I have so many issues, but I don't think I am any less of a feminist because I admit it. You know what I'm saying? I guess what I'm saying is sometimes, these books are also about finding love and finding someone who's there for you. And that I think it doesn't necessarily exclude, the idea of female main characters self-actualizing and, becoming their true and best selves. You can do that and also find this amazing love with the guy who has amazing forearms, you know, so that's...
Yes. Like well, the trap of the woman that woman that has it all together, and that's what it means to be a feminist. It's just like the patriarchy just trapping us into stereotypes that are not, no one should have to live up to.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so love, lust, and community, I think, are also, that's also a big through line through both of your books. So I guess my question is inspiration related. Where do you get the inspiration for the communities that you build? I mean, I can imagine where you get the lust. And so
where?
My books.
No, from a lifetime of reading romance novels.
Community. Where does it come from?
I think, and this is something that, like, I love this about, like, well, your historical and this series, but also your, I think about it as Theo's book.
Oh, the Dallas series, yes.
The Dallas series? I'm like,
Theo's book.
Theo's book. And it's like, you always have this big group of friends with, like, this very big personality, and they kind of fit so well together, and you're like, oh yeah, of course these people would be friends. That makes sense. And I just think that that is what, I don't know, my quality of life got so much better when I discovered fandom and made a lot of friends through fandom. It's really how I met so many of my best friends. I promise I had friends before too, but you know, it was mostly friends that I have found through my academic settings, and you know, we vented, we talked about a lot of things, but I couldn't go to them and be like, oh my god, this Omegaverse fanfiction, it's amazing, we have to read it together, we have to buddy read it or something. Like, I couldn't do that, and like, my life completely changed once I encountered fandom, and I made all these amazing friends that like are kind of on the same wavelength as me. And that is what I try to channel in my books, kind of like this idea that you find your people. And like a lot of us, I don't know, I mean, a lot of us who are bookish people, not everyone, I don't want to generalize, but like sometimes we are the people who growing up didn't necessarily do great in social situation. I know that's my case. And so like the fact that I can find friends through books and through reading is so meaningful to me that like I just have to put it in my books. You know, I want my main characters to have that. These people that they can trust always. I will stop talking now. I feel like I've been talking for 5 minutes.
No, but I think that's such a hallmark of your books is that they do have, it's not just, you know, the giant forearms, right? They help. They help.
They help a lot.
But it is also this community of people, and that is something that is all over I mean, this whole series is linked together by best friends.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I write Black women, I write queer people, and I think I have to think about what are the types of spaces where those people can thrive, and the types of spaces those people can thrive is in communities of other people who can see them and support them. So, like, I can't write a book about, like, 2 lesbians in 1889 that don't have friends.
Right.
Right.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
So I think, like, it is important, and also, like, even, like, the romance community, like, all of us who have been reading romance for like our entire lives, like the moment you meet other people that can talk about a romance novel for 12 hours straight without blinking or taking a breath, like it's like,
come sit by us.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, like there's no feeling like finding someone that loves something like you love it. And so that is like a perfect, like that's like the perfect way to like build a community in a romance novel.
It also feels like community has come to romance. For those of you who've been reading romance for a long time or just started, it's fairly new and it also feels like post-pandemic.
Yeah.
This is one of the like marks that the pandemic has left on romance is this idea. I mean, like I know during the pandemic wrote my series that probably has the most community in it because I just wanted that constant, I wanted to be around my friends.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so true that so many of us were writing what we needed during the pandemic.
Yes.
I remember Christina and Lauren saying that they wrote Something Wilder, which is like this adventure, outdoorsy book because we were stuck in rooms. Like we couldn't go outside because we wanted to, you know, flatten the curve and help with everything. And so that is so, so true. you kind of wonder like how the events of the next 2 years will shape the romance that will come out in the next 3 years. Like I'm excited to see that, you know.
But it absolutely does.
Yeah.
I mean, everything in the world is reflected in the books.
Oh, yes. Like I always say, if you want to know what was happening in the world at a certain time, read a romance novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why it lands so well for all of us as readers, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. What are the books and the media, I mean, besides Succession and Love is Blind?
I think we should talk about
You're not
Succession.
even done.
I'm not done. Don't spoil me. I'm not
Don't spoil
done.
it, anyone. She's not done. But what are where have you gotten joy, inspiration over the last, few months, few weeks? Where are you getting joy and inspiration now? What are the books that are really locking you in right now?
Books.
No, or
Books
media.
or medium.
So we can't talk about Vanderpump Rules.
Just the reunion.
Just the reunion. Okay.
Or
so,
was there something that you were reading, watching, experiencing them when you were writing this that was really like driving?
Oh my God,
it?
that was so long ago. Because I was finishing this book when, like, just in the months that the Love Hypothesis came out. So
my God.
I have no memory of what happened then.
Well, it's great. It's a really good book.
Yes.
Okay, so this is just a show. I mean, I'll talk about books, but a show that I think is amazing and like truly inspires me is The Great. It's
so
such
fun.
a good enemies to lovers, but like it's not even. It is enemies to lovers, but like it's so twisted. Like, I didn't ship them in the first season, and then I'm like, whoa, I'm so invested in their relationship. Anyway, this is a fantastic show that really inspired me, and I think I was probably watching it at the time that I was writing in the book. In terms of books that I've read recently, okay, so Christina, I feel like I mentioned them too much. It's like I'm trying too hard. Like senpai noticed me, but I like one of the favorite books that I read this year, if not my favorite, was The True Love Experiment. It was just such a like if you like romance, it was a celebration of literally like everything that you love about romance.
All the catnip.
Yes,
All the catnip.
it was like just they went all in, and it was amazing. I really loved it. There is a book that's coming out next month. It's called Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. Guys, I'm so excited that you're excited, and so it's just. I mean, I don't know. It's another kind of second chance enemies to lovers. What happens if? I love that. Everyone is so excited about this book. Anyway, it's a fantastic book. It's coming out next month, and it's another one of my favorites. And then I will never stop recommending this book because it was my favorite book that I read last year. It's Pride and Protest by Nikki Payne.
Yes, it's a
Oh my
great
God.
book. It was really great.
It's like I think about the book every day, 5 times a day. It's distracting me. It's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, a modern day retelling, and it's delicious.
So good.
It's I feel like okay. I know this is gonna be a bold statement, but I will say it anyway. I think she fixed some of Jane Austen's mistakes.
I agree. I would concur.
Because like the way she portrays the sisters and
phenomenal.
it's just a masterpiece. Her second book is coming out this year. I've been harassing her for an arc, and I
Same.
have not gotten one.
Same. Yeah.
Who? Show yourself.
I am. I also ask it in her DMs. So like it's a total like 360-degree attack. She's gonna block me one of these days. It's gonna be over. I hope so. I hope so because we're this close to like her being like, get away from me. The book is not done. But yeah, anyway, I will never stop recommending this book. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. I think they probably have it in this bookstore. So if you're looking for a book, that is the book you want to buy.
What brings you joy?
What has brought me much joy in the last month is Queen Charlotte.
Yes.
Have watched that. I have not watched something that many times
so
in a
good.
row in a long time.
I have to watch
So
it.
That
good.
love declaration is in my top 5 of anything that I've ever seen, read, heard.
It's so sexy
Consumed.
and so good, and yes.
It is perfect. It is about women. It's about women's friendships. It's about black women. It's about a super hot king. It's the best.
Which, it gives you a little bit of weird feeling when you're like, King George III is hot, and then you're like, wait,
He really
what?
was.
I feel weird about my feelings.
And in real, 15 children. They had 15 children.
He did the job.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's another panel. We'll just do like kings rated by hotness.
That was, I mean, that probably is like one of the best things that I've seen in recent years. Also, The Ultimatum, LGBTQ, it's like messy and amazing. So if you like reality TV show and dating, like watch it. And then books. I just finished Much Ado About Nada by Uzma Jalaluddin.
It's great.
It is so great. I really love her previous Hannah Khan Carries On is one of my favorite romances. It's amazing. Kiss the Girl by Soraya Cordova. It's a retelling of Little Mermaid.
That's
with
out in August.
Latin rock stars, and it's great. Also, Knockout by Sarah MacLean. I read on a plane coming back from a trip just the other day.
That's also out in August.
And it bangs like bombs.
Also banging.
And
Also the
banging.
other kind, though.
Like both, literary and figuratively. So yeah, those are my
Amazing.
recommendations.
Well, it's time for questions, and I know you all have them. Please don't be shy. No topic is too weird for these two, I'll tell you, because I was just at drinks with
Also,
them.
please listen to our Omegaversity episode for Fated Mates.
If you're into that.
It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It was
well,
the three
we're
of us
gonna-
and Jen.
I have a question from the internet that I think is going to bring that up, but we're going to start. There was a person in a baseball cap who has a question there. Oh, I really gave you a complicated one, Kelly. Sorry.
My hat says directed by Ryan Johnson.
Oh.
Okay, I think she wins many friendship bracelets.
Oh, right.
Please.
Allie made friendship bracelets while watching Succession.
Yes.
Don't spoil it. She's
Don't
not
spoil.
done. But if you ask a question, you get one from someone has a bag of them. Oh, there we go. Kristen has a bag of them.
Allie, can I ask you who your favorite character on Succession is?
Oh my God. Okay, so before anything, first of all, thank you because it's all I want to talk about. No offense to the questions you asked. I understand that you couldn't just ask me questions
I mean,
about
I could have
Succession.
asked you a lot of questions about Succession.
Okay, so I am not. I don't want to spoil anyone. I am to give you context. I am at the episode in the 4th season where that thing happens, you know. But I'm not going. But I haven't watched any farther. Oh no, I actually watched a beginning.
Oh my God.
I have to watch it with my husband, and now I'm on tour, and so I was like, can I just watch it on my own? And he was like, divorce. So I have to wait. Okay, so I don't know how it happened, but Roman sort of became my
God,
favorite
yes,
character.
Yes.
It's just at the beginning I really wanted to punch him, and now I'm like,
Brilliant. I mean,
why do I like you so much? What is happening?
who would have thought a Culkin could serve that hard?
Yeah.
You know,
Wait, but also like Alexander Skarsgård
Oh
is
my
sending
God.
blood to his assistant, and I'm into it, and I don't like it.
Okay, so I feel so much because Alexander's, when they asked me for a picture of Jack for,
Oh, see, this is
I
relevant.
sent Alexander Skarsgård because, because look at Alexander
Because why
Skarsgård.
not?
That makes
But
sense.
then his character is so Elon Musky.
He's such a dirtbag. Yeah.
It's like, it's so
Why?
hard.
I don't understand why
But
I love these people.
At the beginning, the person that I wanted to love the most, and I was committed, I was ride or die for him, was Tom, because he's played by Mr. Darcy.
Flex man.
Yeah, but he just ruined it. Like, it was just the worst character.
All right, question.
Sorry.
She's not done. Can you, from Hira, this is online, from Hira in New York, can you share a little bit about your writing process? Do you have the arc of the story complete before you begin, or does the story develop itself as you write?
Oh. I don't. I mean, I have a sense of it, but like, have you seen that meme where the guy's like got a wall and he's like doing like, he's got like.
Yeah.
That.
It's a murder wall.
That's my writing process in a nutshell. So I know where I'm going. I always said like, I know where I'm going, but unfortunately I can't go in the same ship. I have to rebuild it from scratch every single time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fun, but it works out.
I have to turn, I mean, maybe you too, like I have to turn in some sort of synopsis to my editor.
Same. That's a suggestion, I always say.
Exactly. Like, so I'm like, oh, well, I'm fully committed. This is the story. We're done. And then I turn it in and like,
Remember how we talked about that's not what it is. But they're still named the same thing. The names are the same. And it's still in the same
And like
city.
the first chapter, the meet cute is what we talked about, but everything else just didn't work out. I'm so sorry.
There's still a cat in it.
Yes.
Okay, another question. How about in the white right here? Yes, you.
I'm exhausted. I know that the Barnes & Noble exclusive has like the Taylor Swift connection with this book, which I didn't read. But for your first book, Left Hypothesis, what would be the playlist for that book?
I mean, it would still definitely be Taylor Swift because it's really all I listen to, and I have a problem. I feel like I have thought about this in the past, and I'm sure I gave an answer that I don't want to like walk back.
It'll be canon. It'll be fine.
It'll be, yeah. I feel like it has to be Reputation, like songs by Reputation.
I was gonna say Reputation.
Because, you know, it's that like, oh no, like it has this messed up feeling.
Look
like
what you made me do.
Look what you made me do, right? Yeah, it's which is, by the way, what I tell myself every time I'm like on StubHub looking for like resale tickets,
It's
hoping
research.
to find
Research.
yeah, hoping to find something cheap. Something from Reputation. I definitely think that like. So my favorite song in Reputation is New Year's Day, and it's such a beautiful, like, you know, I'm here for the long haul, no matter what happens song, and I want it to be Adam and Olive's song, I think.
Adriana, do you have a song for Manuela and Cora?
I probably, honestly, if we're gonna go with Reputation and Taylor Swift, I would say I Did Something Bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
What
can
an
confirm.
excellent song.
I want to go way to the back, last row. Kelly, I'm sorry, I'm sending you all around.
Doing all the steps today, guys.
Pink, she's wearing a black mask and a pink shirt. All the way back. Oh, keep going.
Hi. So what would B's and Levi's song be from Taylor Swift?
Could you say that again? Sorry.
The song for B and Levi by Taylor Swift.
The song for B and Levi.
It has to be Gorgeous because he truly cannot function when she's there. So
Awesome.
it has to be Gorgeous.
Let's do another one. While you're there, Kelly, I see a blue mask and a white shirt right there. Right next to you. Yes.
Who is your favorite character to write out of all of your books? Like, who is your favorite character to write?
Want to start while I think about
No,
it?
okay. I mean, I can't.
I know.
It's whatever character I just finished the book of. Oh, Theo. Okay, Theo.
I love the Theo fans because, yes.
Theo's a good one. I mean, I feel like with books, like, because they are not that easy, they're not as easy to write as you would think.
Oh, God.
What are you talking about?
Whoever I just finished is my favorite one.
Because you survived.
Because I survived. Yeah.
Ali?
I'll say my favorite character of yours, Elsie.
I like
Oh,
Elsie.
she's great.
She's my favorite.
She's my most damaged character, I think.
She's
but
but she's
I
so
love her.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't spoil it. There's a moment in like
Yeah.
chapter 2 where she like yells and it's great.
Oh yeah, she does.
She's
get
the
mad.
best. And instantly I was like, I need a t-shirt. I will die for her.
And her nemesis is like a porcupine.
That is the thing. I did love it. I do love writing pets in character, like in books, and like especially pets that have like nemesis. And I think I really liked writing Mallory. She's the main character in my YA that's coming out. Just because I don't know, she's so young, and she's 18. I want to protect her. I want her to, I don't know, and like this. Okay, writing is super hard, but when I was writing my YA, something happened that never happened to me before, which is like I saw the book so clearly, and I was able to write it the way I wanted it to be. And that has never happened before, and it will never happen again. But that book was just so special, and I don't know, Mallory is just like, she came out fully formed.
Athena, like Athena.
Like Athena from Zeus, who's the father.
That's right.
Straight out of the forehead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Valerie from Massachusetts says, your books have covered some pretty classic romance tropes, fake dating, enemies to lovers, etc. What is your favorite trope to read, Allie Hazelwood? I told you we'd get there.
It's so bold of you to assume that I would say Omegaverse. But I will say Omegaverse.
Would you like to explain to the class what Omegaverse is?
Okay, does anyone here not know what Omegaverse is?
Oh my gosh, this is shocking.
Okay, but I think, okay, so
tight. Keep it tight, Hazelwood.
Okay, you guys, I think Omegaverse is better read than explained. And I think that if I explain you what Omegaverse is, you will freak out. So, exactly. Well, I will recommend you fan fiction. So if you're interested in Omegaverse, tell me when we're citing.
Well, we have a list on the website.
Oh yeah,
And we
go to
have
Fated Mates.
Fated
We already
Mates.
made that list.
Beautiful. We had the best episode of Fated Mates. I know you guys had like Nora Roberts on, or like
But Omegaverse is right up there.
But the Omegaverse episode was so good.
You can listen to Allie talk for a long time about how much she loves it, and then recommend lots of things for you to read. So you should all go there next.
yes.
Wait, we don't
Right
have...
here.
Omegaverse, did I have to say
Oh, I'm sorry.
Omegaverse
Yes.
also? Clearly.
Omegaverse.
I love that. Like,
Fated Mates. I mean,
yes, that's what it is.
this-
Yeah.
That's the essence
core
of
story,
it,
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, glasses and a mask. I see you. Yes, you. And there's one. I'm so sorry, Kelly. It's coming. It's coming. We just have to use the microphone because of online. Hi, everyone online.
Oh,
Thanks
hi.
for joining
Hello.
us.
Hi. So all your characters are in a car going on a road trip. Who's doing what? Who's on aux? Who's driving?
Oh my God.
Who's bringing all the snacks? Who's sleeping the whole time?
All right. Who is driving? Who is bringing all the snacks? Who is in charge of the radio? And who is sleeping the whole time?
Okay.
B's in charge of the radio.
B is in charge of the radio. Yes. Adam is driving.
Adam is driving.
Adam-
Clearly.
Adam
it's
is
right
here.
there. It's right there.
Also, like, so when I was a youth, there was this meme on Tumblr that was like reactions of car. Like, if someone in the car asks, "Can we go to McDonald's?" Who is the person who like goes to McDonald's, orders one black coffee, and then leaves without like ordering anything for the children? That is Adam as well.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that Olive brings the snacks.
Yes,
and then she
that's
like
correct.
feeds him the snacks. You know, like the feeder of the drone.
Levi's live tweeting it.
That's true because he's a weirdly good tweeter. What other characters do I have?
Is there someone napping?
Jack.
Jack's not napping, though.
Jack's not coming to the road trip. Like Jack doesn't care about your road
Jack
trip.
has the itinerary, but then like won't share with anyone.
Exactly.
Won't let anybody know what they're doing.
And Elsie is too busy adjuncting boarding classes to make time for
And
the
fake
road trip.
dating, like
Exactly. Fake dating on
everyone.
the side. Yeah.
Yes, in the middle, blue tank top.
Hi. So I'm kind of an aspiring writer, and I was wondering if you guys could give your like biggest piece or two of advice for that.
I'm gonna start because my advice is always the same, and I'm afraid that they would steal it from me. My advice is find community and people who are going to support you in your writing. That was the main thing for me. Like, I don't know, I started with fan fiction and having people, you know, I had my friend, Jan, who would bet on my stuff. She would bet on it, and she would be like, oh my God, I liked it. And having one person who reads your stuff and validates you is just, it's so important. And then, you know, you build community from there. But just find friends who will support you and like, I don't know, and just encourage you all the time. That's my advice.
That's great advice, Sally.
And I was very afraid you would steal it from me, so I was like,
I might steal it from you in the future. Mine is just lean into whatever it is that you love. Like, I think we're like, there's so much information at any given time that we are consuming, and it feels like trends are changing all the time. But I think, like, if you start reading and you love something so much that you want to write it, just like lean into that and just like shut out everything else and just like write that one story that you really want the world to like get from you specifically.
Yeah. Oh, me. Have you written words at all? Then you're not an aspiring writer, you're an actual writer. And I would say that my advice to that end is prioritize your time, right? You are a writer, you need time to write. So, you know, don't let other people take your writing time from you. I wrote my first 5 books on the subway, like while I had a day job, and I would say to my partner at the time, my friends, I'm sorry, I need 3 hours on Saturday to write, and that's my time. You're a writer, so you need to hold that time and really hold it and be firm about it, and people will be jerks about it, but tell them I told you to. Tell them to email me. Front row, right here.
Have you ever thought of dream casting if your things were ever adapted for TV or the big screen?
Fan casting. Well, there is something coming.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I started... we all know what my fan cast for The Love Hypothesis is. So,
it's right there.
But Adam Driver is... You're not going to clap when I finish this sentence. Adam Driver is so snotty, he would never be in a rom-com. And we all know it. And we love it for that. Like, we love him, but, like, it's true. He's never going to star in a rom-com. So, okay, my backup fan cast for Adam is Jacob Elordi, who is...
Oh, gosh, yes. Yeah.
He is Nate in Euphoria.
Yes.
Forget about Nate the character. It's not a good character, but, And then...
you set them off.
Yes. Yeah, that would be great.
He's not like... Wait, is this like approval or disapproval?
I don't know. They're straight up or down vote, you guys. Oh, no. All right, next one.
What about Ben Barnes?
And there it is.
I mean, he's a little older than what I was thinking.
Yeah, but
hopefully...
He's been going around saying he wants to do a rom-com.
Hopefully
Listen,
Jacob
they all
Elordi
have
will
Cillian
do
Murphy, him. Like, they're all just begging for scripts.
I mean,
Hollywood,
yes,
get it together.
100%, yes.
And Olive?
Olive, okay, this is weird. I know it's weird, but like there is this TikToker slash bookstagrammer. No, she's an Instagrammer, and she's an influencer who talks about like her life in academia. Her name is Karen Parada. I highly recommend you follow her. She's amazing. She talks a lot about like the challenges. She's a first-generation PhD student, and she's a woman of color, and she talks about the challenges that she went through. Anyway, I first met her, like we became friends because people were tagging her and telling her, oh my God, you were Olive. You would be the perfect Olive. And now I can't see anyone else as Olive. I'm like, yeah, Karen is Olive. And so I don't know. I recommend you follow her if you're interested in STEM content. She's amazing on social media.
Manuela and Cora?
Okay, it has to be Rebecca. Like, it can't be anyone else now.
Well, I mean, yes, like, vibe, yes, but I actually envision her. There's this Chilean singer named Mon Laferte, and like that's who I envision as Cora. And then Manuela, Tessa Thompson.
That's a good one.
Yeah, like already like chaos bisexual.
I'm for it. Yes, tattoos. You're very eager. Yes. Sorry to call you tattoos. What am I even doing?
It's my identity, so it's fine.
Well, here, look, we've got you here on this cover.
It's very cool to sleep. I ask this question every time I come to one of these, which is a lot. So I'm a writer, and sometimes I go back and I read my own work, and I'm like, did I write that? Who wrote that? Because I just am like astonished by the words that are on the page. Do you have like a certain like line or scene that you've written that you were like, did I write that? Like, kind of, yeah.
Constantly. Like, I just did copy edits of my next adult books, and I went from, wow, I cannot believe I failed myself so bad by writing this crap, to, whoa, I wrote this? I'm a genius. Usually it's the sex scenes that I'm like, wow, I'm so great, and then the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, every book, one thing that I do, and I think everybody does constantly, is that I will write the same exact sentence.
Oh my God.
Love it. And like, this is a perfect sentence. And then I'll keep reading, and I have already written it, this last pass, in the exact same way.
Yeah, it's always like 3 pages later, too. Like.
So there's that.
Oh
but yeah, like I feel like the first draft is always so chaotic, and it really is like just like an arduous process. And then as you go refining the book, you're like, man, like, look at me.
Look at me writing words.
Putting together words like that.
Look at me speaking English.
Look
like,
at us. Yeah,
amazing.
And I mean, for both of us, like both of us, English is not our first language.
Right, yeah. It's like
so, like, special kudos to us.
Yes.
I still remember, like, my first English class, and it was like a lecture about this guy who went to a birthday party and gave a present to someone and said, here's a book. And like, those were my first words of English that I ever learned, and now I'm like, wow, look at me, putting porn on page.
And
I did it.
And making a good living.
Out of the porn. Can we do one more, Kelly?
Yeah, one more question.
Okay. I can't see what you're wearing. There are glasses on top of your head. You're just a hand. Yes, you.
Hi. I wanted to ask, if B, Olive, and Elsie were in a room together, what do you think they would talk about?
Oh, that's a good question. If B, Olive, and Elsie were in a room together, what would they talk about?
You know, like, there is an Adam and Olive cameo, so you will see in the book what Olive and Elsie would talk about. Originally, when, you know how I said earlier that we would, like, we have to turn in synopsis to the editors. Like, originally, I meant to have also a B cameo, and the 3 of them were going to be talking. But then it just didn't work out like that, the story, and it was just the 2 of them. I think they would talk about how crappy academia can be, and how hot their husbands/boyfriends are. And I think that, like, at some point, one of them would try to explain the others the concept of fake dating or something, and the others would be like, dude, like, I know what it is, or something like that. I envision B being like, oh, so I read this book about fake dating. Wait, let me tell you guys what fake dating is. And Olive and Elsie are like, okay, thank you for telling us.
The book is Love Theoretically, but you all know that. Congratulations. We are so happy to be with you on your release day.
Thank you for coming, guys.
Adriana's book is An Island Princess Starts a Scandal. And now Kelly is going to explain how you can get them signed.
Oh my gosh, thank you 3 so much for amazing conversation. Lovely, lovely so much. And okay, so guys, Very quickly, we're just going to go straight into the signing in just a moment. So, if you would like more copies of Love